All the major financials reporting through this week. Citi this morning. Tomorrow we hear from JP Morgan, Goldman and Wells, and we get numbers for Bank of America and Morgan Stanley later in the week. This morning, Citigroup opening lower, down by 1.32%. I want to bring in Sonali Basak, our investment banking reporter. Looking ahead to some of these numbers. Sonali, you dropped by a little bit earlier. Just walk me through why you think we might be a little bit lower at the open here in New York.
So the provision for loan losses were a little bit higher, but the revenue in the consumer business was higher. Tomorrow when we see JP Morgan report and we see Goldman and Wells Fargo report, we're going to want to see similar strength in the consumer. But remember, Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley, which is reporting on Thursday, do have more of their revenue tied to the markets businesses. And remember, the trade war didn't affect the cash and prime businesses as heavily as it did at the beginning of the year, as it did even the last 2, 3, 4 weeks that we've seen go by. So we're going to want to hear more from JP Morgan, which is competing very heavily in equities with Morgan Stanley, on whether the trade tensions are impacting them as much as they had for Citigroup in this quarter.
Sonali, is it too early to get a read on where some of the business from Deutsche Bank might be going?
Well, let me tell you, it's funny, Citigroup went first today because Citigroup just had some big headlines in the last couple of weeks, taking some talent away. Today, the CFO had been already talking about how there's an ability to gain share in the equities business in particular. Remember, JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley are 1 and 2, but that leaves room for Citigroup and Bank of America to gain some share. I'm sure on Wednesday when Bank of America reports, there will be some questions around that as well.